Ah, so there you are. Yeah, the hardest part about being a YouTube kind of chef guy is trying to be Steven Spielberg, Gordon Ramsay, and a little bit of Julia Child at the same time. So right now I'm using a very old laptop, well, tablet, not even a laptop, trying to find a decent camera angle. The hardest part of this job is figuring out exactly how much to show and how much not to show. How to stay fresh and not be boring. Tonight, let's do some motion sickness here. I'm going to cook and experiment with the, quote, Tuscan version of one of my wife's favorite dishes. White bean soup. Again, with the beans, the beans, the beans. Hey, the rest of the world eats a little bit differently than we do. For most of them, dinner's just a plate of beans. We tend to balance our nutritional needs with eggs in the morning that tend to be a bit on the fatty side. But beyond that, dinner can be kind of simplistic. So, how much to show, how much not to show? Lid. Pot. Well, given the fact that I'm using half a box of pasta and the box contains very good instructions on how to cook it, I won't bother to go over those. So, magic pot. The reason I'm playing with the stand is so I can actually show you what's in the pot this time, as opposed to my rather inglorious attempts previously. Okay, let's see here. A little motion sickness. Shake, shake, shake. Okay, there we see the amazing cutting board. Today we are doing very simple butter. A little bit of olive oil. Yes, scientifically measured as always. A little bit of salt. Yeah, I know, you can see right through me, can't you? A little bit of black pepper. Still measuring precisely. Yes, yes, yes. A little bit of red pepper flakes. If you do Italian cooking, you will discover that a lot of recipes call for basic red pepper flakes. So the butter has not melted. The pan is cold. And I am throwing in, as you can clearly see through my body, a bunch of garlic. Look at that. That's actually about 3 or 4 cloves of chunked garlic. Don't worry, it won't taste terrible. In fact, it'll mellow nicely in the butter and cook gently. Now, I've actually gotten questions about the fact that I move too fast. And so, tonight we are using a can of beans. Beans, 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 yeah. Drained cannellini beans. You'll notice the lid's still attached. What you do is you take a can opener, go about 95% of the way around. With all of that vent, you just flip it over and let the fluids drain out. You want to keep the starch. Starch adds thickness. And a little bit of chicken stock wouldn't hurt while I'm at it. I know, chicken stock, always with the chicken stock. Technically we're supposed to use water, but I find that a bit bland. Okay, so this is warming, and the garlic is starting to sizzle, or talk to me. And of course there's an odor coming out of here, which is truly wonderful. And because this is Tuscan as opposed to French, there are no onions. We got some rosemary, some weed, and yeah, just boom, toss it right in. Look at me, I'm Emerald. Or should I say, bam. And because my sage plant has not survived the winter very well, a little bit of dried sage. Put that in, let that bloom in the spices and the oils. Throw in the can of beans and blend it up. Yeah, I know, it seems very plain. But there are times when, for the rest of the world, dinner's just a plate of food. And it won't hurt us to eat that way either. Sometimes. We will have to get used to the concept of being fed instead of being full. Yeah, you eat enough, you feel fed. You're not in pain from being overly full. So, while this garlic caramelizes gently, there's a funny story about pasta fagioli. In World War II, and a buddy of mine and his buddy's grandfather. So basically, during World War II, my buddy's grandpa was in Europe fighting, and my buddy's very proud of his Italian heritage. So his grandpa, who was also proud of his Italian heritage, says, "You can't die, pal. We got to get through this, and you're going to have my pasta fagioli." And he never told his war buddy what pasta fagioli was. So these guys are going through combat after combat, and, you know, buddy gets wounded, so grandpa saves his life. Grandpa gets wounded, so buddy says, "You can't die, you got to give me pasta fagioli. Whatever it is, whatever it is." Oh. A little bit of chicken stock and bean starch straight out of the can. So, they get through the war. Grandpa makes his war buddy pasta fagioli, which is just pasta with beans. The war buddy was kind of disappointed at that. Yeah, I know. Exciting food story. Okay. I will tell you that the hearty smell of this is such that we're not going to miss the meat tonight. This smells like beef stew in some ways. And the fact that we use chicken stock instead of just water doesn't hurt at all. So let's add some more stock because that's that to be stir-fried beans instead of bean soup. And son of a gun, I'm out of stock. So I'm going to cook that up. It's going to be all kinds of exciting. The important ingredient is my stick blender. Yeah, you don't need one of these to make food, but it sure helps when you try this. So, yeah. I'm going to let that cook. Macerate it a little bit. Cook up half a box of pasta to go with it. It's going to be a very nice dinner. Very simple. And I encourage you to try it. Oh, let me show you what I got in the pot. Yeah, motion sickness. Here we go. I'm Julie Child. Okay, here we go. I know, this is just about the most exciting thing you've ever seen. Beans in a pot. But a little more stock, you know, to thin that out if you want. Serve that with pasta and a salad. And you actually have a very authentic Italian meal. Not an Italian-American meal. You know, Italian-American, that's all pasta bolognese and heavy-duty meat. But this is a very, very good food. I encourage you to try it. Also, and I hate doing this, I am slowly being sent to YouTube jail. So please, subscribe and save me. That way we can lower our cholesterol together. So that's it. Thank you. Goodbye.